In this video, I'm going to show you how to start a blog the right way. So a few years ago, I started my blog because I heard you can actually make money with a blog. So I bought a domain name and I got hosting and I installed WordPress, which is the best blogging platform. But then I realized I didn't really know what to do. How was I supposed to turn this into this, right? I didn't know how I could actually get the same result that the professionals actually had. And I played around with it for weeks. Then I was still confused. So I thought I needed to hire someone, so I did. I hired someone for $500. The result that I actually got back was pretty similar to what I actually had. And then I realized, WordPress is still the best blogging platform, but I followed incomplete processes and I used bad templates. So in this video, I want to actually show you guys the right way, the complete process, step by step, so that maybe this video can actually help you get your blog up and running today. So whether or not if you're a beginner, you've never started a blog before, or maybe you've installed WordPress and you're a little bit confused about what to do next, or maybe you want to upgrade your WordPress blog because you feel that it's not flexible enough for you, then this video is perfect. So I'm going to jump into my computer and actually show you around and show you what we're going to be building today. So on the left hand side is the blog that I'm going to show you how to build, but you can actually create any sort of blog that you like. Okay, so on the right hand side is one of the top food blogs in the world with about 4 million visits per month. So what if you want to change to something like hers, right? So you could actually go to edit page, and that's going to take you to the back of the page, and you can change the page appearance. So here we've got different header designs that you can choose from, and this one is one of the most popular ones, and you can select it, click on update, and then go back and view your page, and then essentially you have the same layout, header layout that she has. But you probably need to change the logo, which is really easy to do. You might need to remove that, which I'll show you how to do that. And if you want to have the same blog layout that she has, then we can do that really easily as well. So you can go and turn on the builder. So for example, she doesn't have the hero image, so we can actually delete that. She doesn't have the subscribe on the top, so we can delete that. And essentially her post layout is just one post like that. So you can double click this and you can change the post layout here to any design that you like, for example, which is something similar to hers. You can also change it back, and then you can actually change the post content layout to boxed, which I think is a really cool option as well for your blog. But we're going to click on done. And if you want to actually change your blog layout to something like Nomadic Matt, which is one of the top travel blogs in the world, then you can easily do that too. If we actually undo everything, then you'll notice that the layout is pretty much the same as his. Like for example, he's got the hero image, text here, and also a button with the subscribe for weekly newsletters here, and also latest from the blog here. It's not exactly the same, but you can create very similar layouts to some of the top blogs in the world. Okay, so if we actually scroll down here, you'll actually notice that if we go back here, you can actually change the width of the sidebar too easily just by dragging and extending it like that. Okay, you can also change it to the other side if that's what you want. Okay, and then you can put it back. Here you've also got all these different type of modules which you can add in anywhere on your website and blog. Okay, so you can also create a shop as well. So on Nomadic Matt's blog, he uses ebooks to actually monetize and make money. So what you could do is you can also create a shop as well, which I will make a 15-20 minute video to show you how to do that after I create this video, which is going to be really cool. So you can create, ebooks, or, sell your t-shirts and merchandise, or you might have coaching, anything like that. You can sell that as well on your blog, okay, which is really cool. You can also create a Amazon affiliate website where you might have ads like that, or you could add a Google AdSense ad. I'll show you how to add ads anywhere on your website, okay? And I'll show you how to add in a normal blog post with social shares. Essentially everything that you need to know to start a blog, I'm going to be showing you in this video, okay? For example, the Instagram feeds. You can also add a email sign up form here, okay? And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Okay, so if you're ready, then I'm ready and I'm going to show you an overview of what we need to actually get started. Okay, so basically what we need to get started to create your blog is, the first thing you'll need is a domain name. So domain name is basically your blog address. People actually type that in the search bar to get to your blog. And hosting is where you're going to be able to store all your images and your content, basically all your blog files, so people can access that 24/7. If you've actually got that, then you can skip ahead. Okay, the second thing you'll need to do is install WordPress. So WordPress is a content management system. Basically, it's the best blogging platform out there, and it's what I use, and a lot of the top blogs use WordPress. The third thing we'll need to do is install the theme. So just before I showed you the theme, which is the drag and drop builder, which is going to allow you to create any blog layout that you want. Okay, then the fourth step is I'll be showing you how to build your blog step by step. So now I'm going to go through the cost involved. So a domain name normally costs around, I think, $12 every single year. And your hosting costs anywhere between $5 to $10 every month, depending on which package you choose. So let's just do $10 per month. Installing WordPress, that is a free content management system. The theme is free as well, but you do have the option to get support and updates, which I know a lot of people like because you need extra help, especially if you're helping, other clients building their blog or their e-commerce store or their website, which is really helpful. Okay, and starting the blog is free. Okay, so this is a free tutorial for you guys. And to begin, basically you'll need around, I think, $20 to start today. I think I'll have a discount for you, so it might be $15 or something like that. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is get our domain and hosting, and for that we need to go to hostgator.com. Alright, so let's open up a browser, and what you want to do is type in hostgator.com, so HostGator, and then click on enter. So that's going to take you to HostGator, and HostGator is the place where I host all my websites. So what we're going to do is click on web hosting, which is the most basic package. And here you'll also get 3 different plans. So for the business plan, normally that's a little bit too much for what you need to get started. So we're going to focus our attention on the hatchling plan and the baby plan. The main difference is that with the hatchling plan, you're only able to host yourblog.com. With the baby plan, you can host yourblog.com, your friend's blog, your dad's blog, and anyone else's blog. So if you know that you'll be creating more blogs for other people, then that might be the best option for you to start off with. Now, the hatchling plan is what we're going to select because we're going to be just creating one blog here, and you can always upgrade later on. Okay, so we're going to click on buy now. Here you'll need to enter in your blog's domain name. So for example, yourblog123.com. Okay, and then click on the outside to see if it's available. If it is, then you're all good to go. You can also select other variations as well, but I normally like to select .com. We're going to scroll down here. Here is your domain privacy protection, which I do recommend. So what that does is it will actually keep your details, for example, your phone number and email, away from the public. So it will reduce your email spam and things like that. We're going to scroll down here. For the package type, we're going to select hatchling plan. Okay, and with the billing cycle, the longer that you actually select, the more that you'll actually save. Okay, so you can go month to month, or you can go to 12 months or even longer to save a little bit more money. Okay, so we're going to select 1 month for this video. Here you'll need to enter in a username and also a security pin. Scroll down. Here we'll need to actually fill in our billing information and also credit card and PayPal details. Scroll down, and here you'll see the additional services. So by default, you'll get a SSL certificate. So what that's going to do is you'll have the secure icon on the top left here. Okay, and this is really important because normally if you don't have it, then it might say not secure. Okay, so here we're going to actually deselect site lock monitoring. Okay, because you can actually protect your website by downloading some plugins later on. And also site backup, you can also follow a tutorial on my channel for that. Okay, we're going to scroll down here, and here you'll need to enter a coupon code. So we're going to type in HOGANCHUA and click on validate. So that's going to give you a bigger discount. So for example, as you can see here, the domain name is now $6 and the hatchling plan is about $7.67. Okay, so the total comes to around $14. Okay, to get started, if you've actually selected domain privacy, it might be around $28 or $29. Okay, then you'll need to scroll down and you'll need to read the terms of service, click that, and then click on checkout now. So after you've purchased your domain and hosting, this is the email that you'll get. You'll get a control panel URL. So this is where we're going to install WordPress. You'll also get your username and password to log in. So you can click on the cPanel URL, enter in your username and password from before, and then click on login. The next step that you want to do is you want to click on build a new WordPress website. If you don't see anything like that, then you need to scroll down to quick install, and it's basically the same thing. So we're gonna click on build a new WordPress website, and here you'll need to select the domain that you just purchased. So for example, your blog 123, and here you want to make sure you keep this empty, okay, and then click on next. Here you'll need to enter in a blog title, so I'm just gonna call it blog, and enter in a username. So this is a username for your WordPress login, also your name, last name, and also a contact email. So make sure this is the correct email. And then next you'll need to click on you've agreed to the terms of service, and then you'll need to click on install. So that's going to take maybe a few seconds to install. So you should get an installation has completed. Now what you want to do is, first thing you want to do is copy your password to your clipboard, okay? And sometimes if you've just purchased the domain, like for example, if you actually go to that domain right now, right, it might not be available yet, okay? Because what's happening is HostGator is setting it up. So sometimes you might need to wait, 15, 20 minutes for them to set it up on the back end. Worst case scenario, 2 hours or so, and then you can come back, right? So as you can see, my one is up right now. So what you can actually do is click on admin login, or you can actually type in here /WP-admin, and then click on enter. And then that should take you to the WordPress dashboard login area. Here you enter in your username and also paste in the password that you got before, okay? If you've got that password, then you can also go back to your email and they would have sent you a email with your username and password. Click on login. Alright, so this is your WordPress dashboard, and a lot of stuff might pop up. It might be a little bit overwhelming, but all of this we can pretty much just close. So we're going to close everything first and do a little bit of housekeeping, okay, and configure the optimal settings. So let's just close all these. Okay, and if we actually visit our blog now, then this is what it's going to look like. It's very plain and it doesn't look like anything that we're going to build, right? So what we're going to do is go back to our dashboard here, and let's actually hover over users and click on all users. Here is where you can actually add in more users. So for example, you might have other people to write your blog posts, you might have a person to help you with your blog, then you can create a new user here and set the role. All right, so right now we're going to actually change the password to something that we can remember. So scroll right down to the very bottom and click on generate password, click on hide, and type in your new password, confirm that, and update profile. Now the next thing that you want to do is you want to hover over settings and you want to click on permalinks. So here you want to make sure that your website URL structure is correct, right? So what you want to do is select post name, and what that does is whenever you are entering a new post title or a page, that page title will be in your URL. So this is good for SEO purposes, okay? And make sure you select that and save changes. Now the next thing you want to do is you want to click on plugins. So plugins are basically add-ons that you can add to your blog to add additional functionality, and by default they would have installed some default plugins. Okay, so what we're going to do is select all plugins and deactivate them first, okay, And you can add these plugins back, but I just feel like there's just too many things on our blog and it's going to be really confusing. Okay, so I'm actually going to delete that as well. Okay, select all and then click on delete, apply. Okay. Alright, now the next thing that we want to do is hover over appearance and click on themes, and we're going to add in a new theme. So this is the default theme 2017, so you need to click on add new. So here there are thousands of different themes that you can actually choose from, but below this description I've actually included the theme that I use and that I recommend, because you can build any layout that you like. Most of these themes, they have a default sort of look and it's sort of hard to actually arrange it to the way you like it. So I don't think it's the best long-term option. So make sure to download that, okay? And once you actually download that, then it should look something like this, themify-ultra.zip, okay? And I've actually also compiled the images for you so that you can sort of follow along with the video, okay? So you will also download the images for the blog.zip file as well, okay? And sometimes for people who are using Safari, Safari might automatically unzip the Themify Ultra, okay? And what you need to do is you need to right click and compress it back into the zip file, okay? So we need to go back here and upload theme, choose file, and then you want to upload Themify Ultra.zip. Click on open, install now. That's going to take a few moments to upload. Okay, so you'll need to activate the theme and skins and demos will pop up. We're gonna close that on the top right, so click on that. Now if you actually visit the site, then you'll see what it sort of looks like now. So what I'm going to show you now is how to add in your pages and configure the menu and also change the layout to the layout that we want. Alright, so let's go back to the dashboard section and hover over pages. And then you can actually click on all pages, or you can add new. I'm going to click on all pages. Here you'll have some sample pages. I'm going to select all and move them to your trash. And then I'm going to click on trash. And then I'm going to select all and delete them permanently. Okay, as you can see, it says this theme requires the following plugin. We can dismiss that. Now to add in new pages, click on add new. The first page that you want to add is your home page. So type in home and then on the right, click on publish. Okay, make sure the page is published before you click on add new again. We're going to add a new page. This is going to be our about page. Click on publish. So here you can add as many pages as you want to your blog. So we're going to click on add new and we're going to add in a specific blog page. Publish, and then we're gonna click on add new again and type in contact, publish. Okay, so what we're gonna do is click on visit site. So as you can see, the pages have been added, and if you actually click on home, then that's gonna take you to the home page, right? But what we want to do is we actually want to set it in just as our blog.com, right? So how do we do that? We go to Customise. So that's going to take you to Themify options here. And you want to click on homepage settings. Okay. And here you want to set a static page. And for your homepage, you want to select your homepage here, right? And then click on publish. Now we're going to move back. Okay, here you'll see the mobile menu show up, right? So what you can actually do is you can actually zoom out of your browser, okay, normally on the settings area. So right now we're going to set in a navigational menu, right? We want to order them the right way. So click on menus and click on create new menu. The menu name is going to be top nav for top navigation. Okay, for your menu location, you want to set it to the main navigation area, which is the top. If you want to create a footer navigation, then you have to select footer navigation and your menu will show down here. Okay, so select main navigation, click on next. And here you want to add items. Okay, so what I want to add is I want to add in my about page, okay, the blog page, and the contact page, right? I'm not going to add in home because most of the time when people click on the logo over here on the right, it will take them to the home page, all right? Now, if you want to create a drop-down menu, for example, you want the blog to drop down from about, then you just click on it and drag it, okay, and put it under about, okay? And what's going to happen is when people hover over about, then blog is going to sort of drop out, okay? So I'm going to put it back. And you can select this option here if when you actually create new pages, then you'll be automatically added to the top navigation, okay? So for me, I'll just put that in, okay, and then click on publish. And then we can close that. And your top navigation menu is actually set in, okay? So now what we're going to do is actually configure the theme appearance, okay? You can do that by clicking on the dashboard and go to Themify Ultra, Themify Settings, and then click on Theme Settings, click on Theme Appearance. So what I normally like to do is I normally open the blog in a new window, okay? So open that in a new tab. So if we look at the header design now, this is the default one, okay? So I want to actually select maybe the header horizontal or the header top bar, okay? So like a really thin header, save it. Now, if you actually click on the page here and refresh it, then you'll notice that the header design will have changed, okay? So you can select different header designs here, but that's what I prefer, either header block or header horizontal or the header top bar, okay? Those are the really nice ones. And if you look down here, these are the options for the display. So what I want to do is I want to remove the tagline, the RSS feed, the search bar as well, okay? So to do that, we can click on here, and then you can click on exclude site tagline, exclude the search, exclude the RSS. Save. And we can refresh that page. Now we want to set the default page layout. So as you can see, you've got a title there and you've got this sidebar here. We want to sort of have a blank canvas so we can actually build whatever we want. So we need to go back here and click on default layouts. All right, so that is a page. So we want to click on the default page layout. And for the sidebar option, you want to select no sidebar. And you want to hide the title of the pages. And you want to disable the page comments. Save. Come back here, refresh. Awesome, congratulations, we have a blank canvas to work with. Now this next part is going to be super important, so it's important to pay attention, right? But before we do, I'm going to go over a quick recap of what we've actually done and what's coming up next. So we've got our domain name and hosting, and we've set up WordPress and also the theme. Now we're ready to build the structure or the layout of the blog. So your domain name and hosting is basically like getting your address and your land for your house, and setting up WordPress and the theme is basically getting the land ready to build. Okay, so now we've got a blank canvas to actually start building the layout. The next part is going to be really important because I'm going to show you how to lay it out properly. Otherwise, like a house, if you actually don't put the right foundations and don't build the right structure, it's going to collapse. Now, the same thing for your blog. It's really important to get the layout right and know how to use the builder, because I feel like when I first started, building a blog, I didn't know these things. And, I want to share with you my mistakes so that you don't make the same mistakes. And a lot of tutorials, whether it be text or video, I feel like they don't show you the right process of doing things. So this is why I want to share with you the right process and probably the best process that you can actually get a great result with, right? So if we actually turn on the builder right now, then this is actually going to give us some really cool options to build. So if you see right now, in the middle, you'll see that there is a row, okay? This is called a row. And these orange boxes is what we call columns, okay? If we actually hover over the left, you can change to as many columns as you want, okay? So like 4 columns, 5 columns, 6 columns, like one with a sidebar. But the cool thing about it is you can actually arrange the columns like that. So as you can see, you can pull and change the columns. So you're not really restricted to the columns either, right? Now, when you hover over the left-hand side here, when you press the green icon, this is going to pop up. Okay, you can click the lock icon and that locks it in, right? And this is all the different modules which you can basically just drag and drop in. So let's say, for example, we drag in a text module, we put that into there. We could say start a blog, okay? And then you would set that to heading 1, then you've got your text, okay? You click on done, and then let's say you want to add an image, then you can put an image in, you can browse library and upload an image. If you want to add a button, you can put a button in like that, and you can add button text and also a link to wherever page you want, okay? But right now I'm going to show you how to build it out properly, okay? So I'm going to delete everything and start over again. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be building this layout you see here, okay? We've got a hero image, some text, and a button. So this is really good because if people actually come to your blog, then they know what it's about straight away. And then they scroll down, they can subscribe for your newsletters, and then they can read your blog posts and things like that, okay? Obviously you can change the layout later, but I think what's best now is to actually follow the tutorial, and then later on you can sort of arrange it to the way you like, all right? So how we're gonna do this is we're gonna go and grab a hero image first. So one of the best websites that I like is called unsplash.com. Now here you can actually use all these images for free on your blog, whether it be for personal purposes or commercial purposes, without crediting the people who have taken the photos. Okay, so you can browse here and look for the photos, but a quick tip is that you want to choose a photo where you can actually put text over and it doesn't actually cover the subject of the image. Okay, so if you actually scroll down here, then I'll show you a good example and a bad example. So scrolling down here, so as you can see this image here, it's really easy to put a text over here, right? Because the detail of that image on the back is not that much. But the problem with this image, it's sort of like in a portrait rather than a landscape, because what we want is to put a landscape image in. So you want to look for a landscape image. Something like this will be pretty good because you can lay the text over easily. Something like this, if you actually lay the text in the middle, then you're going to cover this girl here, which isn't that great, right? So if you actually look for an image maybe like this, then what you could do is, because the people on the right hand side, you could put the text on the left hand side. So choosing an image is really important because, you know, it's basically on your blog, it's basically your images and your text, and that just makes up the visual elements, right? So spend some time to actually look through the images that you like, or you could use your own images, but I'm also going to show you how to crop them as well. Okay, so let's say you like this image here, then you would download that onto your computer and save it into a folder. Then what we're going to be doing is going to a website called photo.com and editing the size of the image. You want to edit the size of the image before you upload it because sometimes the image is too big and that will make your blog load really slowly, and that's not very good. So we'll need to click on edit. Let's close that. Okay, here we'll click on open and open from your computer. So I've also included the images that you can actually crop as well. So this one here, hero full size, we're going to open. Okay, you can also put in your own images as well. Click on skip tutorials. As you can see, this image is 4000 times 2666. This is very, very big, and it's going to take a long time for your blog to load. So we're going to click on resize, and what we're going to do is change it to about 1800. Okay, and make sure the lock icon is selected so the height is automatically adjusted when you change the width. Then click on apply. All right, and then we're gonna click on crop. Okay, and then you can actually change it to maybe 1800 times about 1000 might be pretty good, and then you sort of just zoom in like that. Okay, and then you can arrange it to where you want. Okay, so I'm gonna try and put the text in the middle, so I think something like that is okay. Okay, I can put the text there, the buttons here, and things like that. Okay, so sort of arrange it to where you think is the best to put the text, or you can put the text here on the left as well, right? And then click on apply. Okay, right now you'll need to click on save, and we're gonna save it as normal quality for now. So you can click on download, and then save it into your folder here, okay? And click on save. So I've already saved it in the folder. So I'm going to cancel that and go back. So if you actually have your own image, then make sure it's at least, I'd say, 1600 times 900. You don't want it to be too small either, otherwise it's going to stretch too much and look really low quality on your blog. So what we're going to do is add the background image in, okay? So we're going to add it to the row. So the purple color there is the row. So you can click on options, and what you can do is you can hold this and you can drag it to the right hand side, okay? It's going to click. I'm going to close the module part, okay? For the row width, I sort of want it to go all the way across, okay? As you can see here, it goes all the way across. If you don't want it to go all the way across, you don't have to select it. That is optional. So let's go back here. I'm going to want it to go all the way across. Row height, I'm going to leave it as default. Click on styling, background. And for the background image, we want to click on browse library. Don't click on upload, because if you do, then it's going to sort of automatically crop it and it's not going to be good, right? So let's click on browse library and then click on select files. And then I'm going to upload the image which I cropped already, hero cropped. Okay, so let's click on insert file URL, and that's going to add your image there. Okay, but you can't really see it because we need to actually add some spacing. So the first thing you'll need to do is to change the background mode to full cover. You can also change it to parallax scrolling or zoom scrolling, which is really cool. And you can also add in a video if you want, but what I recommend is uploading that video to YouTube first, because if it's uploaded to YouTube, then YouTube is actually going to compress the file size and it's going to load really fast on your website. All right, so we're going to scroll down to padding. So padding is another word for spacing. So click on that and click on this icon here. And what we want to do is add maybe something like 15%. Okay, change it to 15% to the top and also to the bottom, like that. Okay, to stretch out that image a little bit. I might add maybe a little bit more. Maybe let's try 18%. Okay, because we're also going to be adding in some text, so it's going to stretch it out further. So I'm going to keep it as 18 for now, and then you can change it depending on your image size as well. So let's click on done. If you actually hover over here, the green icon, we're going to drop in a text module and we're going to add in some text. So I might type in start a blog. So on the left, you can barely see it, but we're going to change it to heading 1. Okay, so heading 1, what I recommend is actually just having one heading 1 font per page. Okay, so this is for SEO purposes or search engine optimization, and I actually do have a video on SEO on my channel as well, which I highly recommend you check out after watching this video. All right, but we're going to leave it as heading 1 for now. Okay, and what we could do now is just click on done for now. And what if you want to add in another text? Okay, you can add in another text from dropping in one here, or you could actually hover over the pencil icon and then click on duplicate. All right, so that's going to add another text module, and then you can double click it, and then you can change it to maybe learn, let's say, learn how to create a blog step by step, something like that. So we want to change that back to paragraph. Okay, and if you go to styling here, you can change the font. Okay, so the font color, so I'm going to change it to white. I'm also going to change the font size to maybe 22. Okay, and you can also text align it for this specific module as well, but let's just click on done for now. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to actually align the text into the middle. So what you can actually do is you can actually click on the row options here, or you can actually double click the background, which will take you to the row options for the entire row here. Okay, so you can click on styling, click on font, and you can align the text in the center. So anything inside this row, it's going to be aligned into the center. If we actually drag this module down to a new row, it's not going to be aligned into the center anymore. Okay, because only within this row is going to be aligned in the center. Okay, and I'm also going to change the font color for the entire row. So I'm going to change it to white for the entire row. Right, So this is also the heading 1 tag. Okay, so to change it, you can actually go to the text module by double clicking it straight away from here. So double click, okay, styling, heading 1, and then you can change the font family here. Let's just change it to Open Sans, which is the default font that we're using right now. And what I recommend is just keeping everything Open Sans for now, and don't worry too much about the styling, the colors, the font sizes and things like that right now, because if you do, then you're sort of going to get confused and a little bit overwhelmed. I will actually go through it towards the end of the video and show you how to customize the colors and fonts and everything for the entire website. Okay, I'll also show you a really cool tool which will allow you to actually check, what fonts the top blogs in the world are using, what colors they're using, and I'll show you how to edit it really nicely. Okay, so if we actually scroll down here, what we want to do is change the font size to 80, and you can also change the font weight to about 600. Okay, I think that looks good. Click on done, and then let's drop in a button module, just like that. And you can change the size of a button here to small, large. Okay, you got the button shape, different sizes, and also the button colors, the background colors. Okay, and then you can scroll down here, the button text, we're gonna type in begin journey, or you could link it to maybe a coaching page, a services page, or your contact page. And let's say you want to link it to your about page, right? So if you actually hover over your about page, right click, open link in a new tab, you can copy the URL and paste it into here. And if someone clicks on it, they'll be linked to this page. Okay, you can also change the button colors. Okay, I'm going to keep it as black. I think that looks pretty good. You can also click on here and add an icon. Okay, if you want to change the button colors to something more specific, you can go to styling, button link, and change the colors here. Okay, but we're going to leave it for now. Click on done. So what you can also do with the builder is, if you want to see the layout a little bit more clearer, then hover over here and you can change the zoom icon. Okay, that's going to allow you to sort of drag and drop the items wherever you like really easy. Okay, and you can also click on preview to sort of see what the page looks like in without the builder actually on. So click on that again. Okay, and then let's just click on save and close. Okay, so what you might notice is a little white space on the top here above your hero image. Now to remove that, you need to click on edit page. You want to scroll down a little bit to themify custom panel, click on page options, and then for your content width, select full width. All right, and then click on update. And then once that is done, click on view page, and then the gap is gone, right? Okay, I think that's really cool. Now, if we actually turn on the builder, and let's say we want to build our blog layout like this, right? So we go back here. What you could do is you can hover over the next row's columns. Okay, so we want to change it to something like this. Here you have one main column and a sidebar here. And let's say if you actually drop in a post module, then what you're going to notice is you don't have any posts up yet. So what I'm going to show you now is actually how to add in your blog post. So then I'll come back here and then I'll show you how to arrange it to different layouts and add in your sidebar and things like that really quickly. So click on done. Let's just click on close for now. We're not going to save it. Okay, so we're going to go back to our dashboard area. So hover over here and click on dashboard. So adding a blog post is fairly simple. All you need to do is hover over here on post, and then you can click on all post. So by default, you'll have a hello world post. We're going to trash it. And we're going to click on trash here and delete it permanently from our blog. Okay, and then we're going to click on add new. And here is where you put in the title of your blog post, and here is where you type in your post, right? So I'm going to grab some lorem ipsum text here, okay, and copy that, and I'll just paste that into here, okay, and I'm going to set in a title. So put in the title up here, And what you can actually do is you can click on the toolbar here, toggle toolbar, okay, and that option here will actually enable you to change the color. You can also indent some text like this, okay, so you could, maybe it might be a quote or something, you can bold it, or it might be something important. You could also add in some quotes like that, okay, which is really cool, okay, and you can basically just edit it like a normal word editor. If you actually want to add a link, so for example, you want to link to the Lorem Ipsum website, you would copy the URL and you would select the text you want to link, okay, and then click on this insert link icon and paste in the URL. If it's an external link, something pointing outside of your website, you'll click on link options and open it in a new tab. All right. If it's something on your own blog, then I would deselect it. All right. Click on update. Now to add an image, what you could do is just click on add media, and you could upload files from your computer. So I've already uploaded some images from the folder that I have included in the description. Okay, so for example, I want to add this girl here. Then I've actually cropped it to about 1100 times 700. It's not as important for the images within your blog post. What is important is make sure to set the size to, I think probably at least 1000 pixels wide. Insert into post, and then add in a category. So this might be about travel, okay, and then add new. You might add the location of, where you travel to as a tag, so add that in. So setting in the featured image, you need to click on this, okay, and if you want to use the same girl, what I recommend is to actually crop all your featured image to the same sizes, right? So 1100 times 700, I use that across the board, okay, so everything is consistent. And if you want to actually create like really cool featured images, not like maybe like a image like this, but like maybe something more graphical, then you can use a online software I think called canva.com, and you can create really cool graphics for your blog or anything that you need, okay? That's a really good website to use. So set that in, and I think that's it. Okay, so if you want to add in a video, then you can go to YouTube, find your favorite video, copy, and paste in a video like that, and it should load up within a few seconds, okay, like that, okay, which is really cool. And I think that is it, so you can click on publish. Okay, and here you can actually click on the permalink, open in a new tab to view it, okay, and it should load up. Okay, so this is your blog post, which I'll show you how to edit it a bit more later on, okay. So if you actually didn't open a new tab, you might see this white bar here, sometimes it might happen. Then, or what you can do is just click on your logo again, and that will take you to your homepage, and the bar will show up, and you'll need to go back to your dashboard, okay. So I'm going to add in another blog post. So I'm going to click on add new, and I'll show you quickly again. So you copy the text, so you put in the blog post. What I recommend is writing a blog post on Google Docs rather than on here, because sometimes it might not save and things like that. It's better to do it on Google Docs and then paste it into here, right? And let's say you put in a title again, okay. Here you can add in an image, add in your categories. This one might be, let's say, food. Add new category. This one might be Laksa. Okay, add. Set in a featured image. And upload files. Select files. And this one here. Open. Set featured image. Okay, so what's really cool is when you actually scroll down to the Themify custom panel, you can actually change the post layout specifically for each post. Right, so you can actually change it from the default to this one here, like a little bit different, right? You can also change it with or without a sidebar and things like that as well. So you have full control of what your blog posts look like for each individual post. So what I'm going to do now is add in a few more blog posts, because I need to add in a few more so I can actually show you how to display it properly on your homepage. All right, so you can add in a few more as well. I've got all the images for you that you can add. Okay, so I added in about 4 more blog posts. You can add as many blog posts as you need. So what we're going to do now is go to our home page, and I'll show you how to display it on your pages. So you can turn on the builder, and what I like to do is I might actually zoom out a little bit to 75% so you can see more of the screen sort of thing. Okay, hover over here, the purple icon, and then select the one with the sidebar. Okay, and then hover over the green icon, and we're going to drop in the post module into there. All right, and here you'll see the post layout. Okay, so this is the grid 4 post layout. I'm going to select the grid 2. I think that looks pretty good, right? Or you can select the single post list. Okay, that's pretty good as well. I'm going to select grid 2, and we're going to scroll down. You can also select by categories only. So as you can see, sometimes it might not actually show up yet. So you can actually change it by selecting the category numbers, which I'll show you where you can find it in about a minute or so. So I'm going to scroll down here for the default post content layout. I normally just leave it as default, but another one that is good, I think it's stacking by default anyway. But if you actually select boxed, I think that looks really cool as well. Okay. Alright, so the post filter will basically mean that the categories will be up here, and if someone actually clicks on that, then it'll only display that specific category. Alright, so personally I don't really like that. For the post masonry, keep that as default. The limit, this is the number of blog posts to show. So sometimes you might have like 40 blog posts, and here you can actually limit it. So whatever you want to display, for example 4, or if I limit it to 6, then it's going to display 6 blog posts like that. Okay, and then we can scroll down. You can order it by descending or ascending with the dates or whatever it is here. Scroll down here. This is the display options. Normally I keep it as excerpt. If you actually select content, it's going to display all the content. So normally I don't really recommend that because it's going to be sort of too long. Okay, either excerpt or you can select none. So there might be no text at all. Okay. You can also hide the image, change the image size here. You can hide the post title, as well as maybe hiding the post date because you might not want to show that, then you can hide it. You can also hide the post meta, which is this, the name and also the categories and tags, by selecting yes. So you might want a cleaner sort of look for your blog, then you could hide that like that, right? Really simple, really nice. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So if I actually scroll back up, I'm going to select the boxed option. I think that looks pretty cool, like that. Okay, and then I'm going to click on done. So for your sidebar, on the right hand side, you can hover over here and you can drop in the widgetize module, right? And for the widgetize area, you want to select sidebar. Alright, so this is going to show you the default sidebar, and right now I'm going to show you how to actually edit what's in that sidebar. So you don't need like some of these site admin and things like that, which is not necessary. Okay, you want to make it like look really good, right? So that's what I'm going to show you, and yeah, so we're going to click on done. What you want to do first is you might want to add some spacing here because it's like way too close to the hero image on the top, and if you preview that, it's not going to look very great, right? We're going to add some spacing there. So we're going to hover over the purple icon, and you can click on styling. It's the same as options, but it takes you straight there. Okay, and you can click on padding, and then we're going to add 5% to the top and 5% to the bottom just for some spacing. Okay, click on done, and I think that looks pretty good, and we're going to go to edit the widget section. We're going to click on save, close, go to the blog, and you can click on widgets directly here, or you can go to the dashboard and navigate there by hovering your appearance and clicking on widgets here. Here we have the sidebar widget, and we've got all the available widgets which we can drag in and it will display. So what I normally do is I open another tab so I can see visually what's happening. Okay, so here is the search bar. Here's the recent post, and if you refer back here, this is the search, the recent post. So what I want to do is I want to remove the meta, so delete that. I want to remove the archives as well, and also the recent comments, delete that, recent post, delete that. And I might leave the search there on top, but I might add a title, like maybe I might do find a post. It's really up to you if you want to have that search bar there or not. We're gonna have a image maybe, so you can add in a picture of yourself, like a little profile image. So you can add image, upload files, select files. So I'm gonna select this image here and upload, and I'm going to set it to full size, add to widget. Okay, that's cool. Click on save. I might add a little about me section up here. So about me, hi, maybe my name is Lisa. I'm gonna copy it from my blog here. So copy that and just paste it in, okay, and save. Okay, so the next bit is the social links. We'll need to add that in later. So we're going to scroll down here. We're going to add in the popular post. So to add in the popular post, you can scroll down to the themify, I think, featured post here. Okay, so click on it and drag it below the image. And then you can change the title. So I'm going to change it to popular post. Okay, you can set the categories. You can also set in a thumbnail as well. So I'm not going to set in a thumbnail, but that's up to you. And for the order by, you can do it by date and limit the number of posts. So what we're going to do is just click on save. And to actually select the popular post, what I might do is you might change the category to popular and then select, maybe the popular category or something like that, right? So what we could do is click on done, and if you actually refresh the page, then you can see what the changes we've actually implemented. So you got the find a post, about me, you got the picture, you got the popular post, and you've got the category. Okay, so here you'll also have a email opt-in, and to do that we'll first need to actually download a plugin, okay, before we can actually add that in. So right now what I'm going to show you is how to add in and configure some plugins. So we're going to go back to here, our dashboard area, and you want to click on plugins. So plugins add extra functionality to our website. So it's sort of like we've built our home now, and also the structure. Plugins is like, your microwave, your fridge, your computer and stuff like that. It adds extra functionality. So you can add a lot of different plugins for different purposes. So these are the plugins that I recommend, but you could add in, different plugins for different things like booking. You might add a forum, a lot of different things. Okay, so we're going to search for, the first one might be Instagram. Okay, so we're going to add in an Instagram feed plugin. So this is going to display your Instagram feed on your page. Install now. Activate. And I'm going to click on add new. We're going to search for MailChimp. So MailChimp is basically a email service provider. So it actually helps you collect emails, and then you can actually send out promotional emails or things like that. Okay, so we're going to install this plugin, and it's going to help us integrate the MailChimp with our WordPress website. So click on install now. So this one is by Ibericode. Okay, activate. Click on add new. We're going to add in something called mass share. Okay, so this plugin will help us add social media buttons on our blog post. Install now. Activate. Okay, so right now it's taken us here. Don't worry about it. Go back to your plugins, and we're going to add a final one. This one is going to be contact form 7. Say search for contact form, and we're going to install contact form 7. This one is really good as well. but this one's just very lightweight, and I like just how easy it is to actually just set up. Okay, we're going to click on install now, and then we're going to activate the plugin. So here I'm just going to click on I understand and do not show this message again. Okay, so the first plugin we're going to activate is the mass share, right? So click on mass share and it should take you here. Okay, and the next thing that you probably want to do is you want to click on networks, and you can put in your Facebook URL. So I'm going to grab the Facebook URL, and also I'm going to grab the Twitter URL as well. So I'm going to grab the Facebook URL, okay, copy that, and I'm going to paste it into here, and also the Twitter username. So my Twitter username is up here in the URL, copy that, paste that in, click on save, click on visual. So here you can change the visuals of the button. Okay, so I'm going to leave everything as default for now. Alright, and then go to position. Okay, so you want the social buttons to show on your blog post. Okay, and you can display it on the top or the bottom or both, or manually. So let's open a, let's say, a blog post. And you'll see right now it displays on the top. Okay, you can also display it on the bottom of the blog post like that, and click on save changes, and then you can refresh it, and then scroll down, and then it's on the bottom like that. Okay, I personally like it on the bottom, but it's really up to you how you want to display it. And I think that is pretty much it for that plugin, so make sure to save the changes. Now the next plugin that I'll show you how to configure is the MailChimp. Okay, so what we want to do is you probably want to go to MailChimp. Okay, so type in MailChimp. Okay, so this is a free email marketing software that you can actually use today. So you can click on the first result here, and you can sign up for free. Okay, so it's free, I think, for up to, I think, 1,000 people or 2,000 subscribers, sorry. Okay, so free forever, up to 2,000 subscribers. So it's perfect to sign up, and you don't need a credit card, I don't think so. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to log into my account first, and then I'm going to click on login. Okay, so normally when you actually log in here, you probably won't have a list created, so we're going to create a list first. So click on list, and you want to create a new list. So this list will actually store your subscribers. So click on that, and then click on create list. So your list name might be your blog name. So okay, blog name, and your email address. Okay, so for example, it's best to actually have a your domain name email address, because I think some email providers might block your Gmail address and things like that. So it's best to create like something like, you know, hello@HOGANCHUA.com, and I have a tutorial on my channel for that. Okay, send from maybe your name, and scroll down. So this is a reminder of, you know, how people actually signed up. So you visited my fashion blog. All right, and here is, you'll put in your contact information. So I personally have bought a PO box, but I think that's up to you. It's best to put in a address, maybe perhaps from a lawyer, accountant, or someone, if you don't want to put in your own. Okay, and here enable double opt-in. So what that basically means is if someone signs up for your email list, then they'll need to actually confirm it in the email. Okay, so you can enable it or disable it, that's up to you, and you can enable these settings and then click on save. Okay, so I've already created a list, so you'll need to click on save, and then once you've done that, you can go back here to MailChimp, and then click on MailChimp here, and we sort of need to connect the plugin and also the MailChimp account, right? So we need to get the API key. So make sure you're logged in here, and then you can click get your API key, and that should take you to the section of where your API key is located. So scroll down here, and this is your API key. Copy to your clipboard, paste, and save. So that should be connected, and then you can actually renew the MailChimp list if it doesn't show up. Here you've got your list, right? So what we could do now is click on form. So we're going to create the first form for your website. Okay, so for the form title, I might do like for my home page, so homepage email opt-in, something like that. And you're going to select the list that you just created on MailChimp. I'm going to select that one and add new form. Alright, now once you've actually done that, then you'll actually get a shortcode. So this is a shortcode which you can copy to your clipboard, and you can paste it anywhere on your website, and this form will basically show up, right? Before I want to copy the shortcode, I want to edit the form, right? So I don't really like the email address in front like that, because I don't think it's really necessary, because it's already in here as the placeholder. So I want to delete that label, right? So I want to delete the label just like that, and then you're pretty much good to go. Okay, so here you can also add in a full name as well. Okay, so for example, if you click on the full name, then you can put in placeholder full name, and you can select it, is it required or not, and then add to form. Okay, that's going to add a full name field to the email opt-in, but I'm just going to leave it simple, just like that. And then you can also click on messages to configure the successfully subscribed messages, the settings here as well. Okay, I'm going to select no for the double opt-in, and for the appearance, just keep it as is like that and save. So what you can actually do is copy the shortcode, and then we're going to go to our home page. Okay, and I want to first show you how to add one in on the top here. Okay, because I think it's really good to have a email opt-in on the top, just like Nomadic Matt has it. Okay, I'll show you how to do this one. So what you can do is turn on the builder, and what you can do is hover over the green icon here, select a box module, and put it in to a just an empty row, and paste in the shortcode. Okay, click on enter, and maybe do like sign up for our weekly news letters, something like that. I'm going to change this to heading 2 and go to styling, font, and I'm going to align it into the center like that. Okay, and then I'm going to click on done. Okay, so here what you could do is you could zoom out of the screen, and let's say you want to move it up to the top section up there. So what you could do is you can take the whole row, so click on the purple thing and sort of just pull it up there and sort of wiggle it up and scroll up. Okay, and then put it there like that. Okay, so what you could do is, if you want the gray border to go all the way across, then you'll need to go to options and change the row width to full width. Okay, click on done, and then you've got your newsletter sign up box on the top like that, right? Which I think is pretty cool. And then you can save it. To add it to your sidebar section, then you sort of need to do it a little bit differently, but I think this is a really good way to do it, right? So click on save and click on close. We're going to go back to the dashboard area, and what you want to do is go to Themify, and you want to go to builder layout parts. Okay, so we want to build a layout part, so we're going to click on add new, and this new layout part is, we're going to call it ebook sign up. Okay, and then I'm going to click on publish, and then I'm going to click on Themify builder, and I'm going to click on the front end here. So I'm going to edit the sign up box on the front end. Okay, so the same thing. So we're going to drop in a box module. like that. So this one might be free ebook. Let's say free ebook, something like that. Change it to heading 2. Okay, and below that I'm gonna add a media. So I'm gonna add a ebook. So upload files, select files. Then I'm gonna upload this one here. It's a PNG, which means it's transparent. And then select full size, insert into post. Okay, after you put that image, then what you want to do is click on enter, and then you want to paste in the shortcode, the MailChimp shortcode below that. Okay, something like that. And what you want to do is click on styling, and what you could do is go to font and align it into the middle, just like that. Okay, and then you can go to box as well, change and add a little shadow to it. Okay, alright, so once it's done, click on done, and we can click on save, and then we can close it. Alright, so we're gonna actually go back to the home page. So the top bar doesn't actually show up for some reason, so we're gonna go back to our home page just by typing it in on the search, on the Google bar there. Go to your dashboard section. Then what you want to do is you want to go to widgets, and then you'll need to scroll down to themify layout parts. Okay, and drag that widget, and let's say put it under categories. Okay, and the layout part we want to display is the ebook sign up, and then click on done, and let's visit our website. Scroll down, and then you'll have an really cool ebook sign up there on the right hand side. Okay, so it's also going to display on your blog post as well. So if you click into that, okay, which is really cool. So now what we want to do is we want to go back to the dashboard, and I'll show you how to configure your Instagram feed. So you want to click on Instagram feed here, and you want to connect your Instagram account just by clicking on that. Okay, and that's connected. Then what you can do is just click on save changes, and click on the second tab, Customise. Here you can select the number of photos you want to display. So for example, if you actually want to display it on the bottom here, you might select 10 pictures in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. Okay, if you want to display it on your sidebar section, then I would display it as 2 columns. Alright, so let's select, let's say 10 post, number of columns 5. Padding is essentially the spacing. Okay, if you don't want spacing between the images, select 0. I'm going to keep it as default. We're going to scroll down to the header. I'm going to deselect header and deselect this. Okay, scroll down to the load more button. I'm going to deselect it, but this is optional, and I only just want a follow button. Okay, so show the follow button, tick. Background color, I'm going to select 22262s, like a really dark gray, and also the button text color will be white. Okay, and then text will be follow on Instagram. Scroll down, save it, and then we're going to actually click on display your feed. So we're going to just copy the shortcode, copy, and we're going to visit the website in a new tab. Here we're going to turn on the builder. Scroll down. Here you can drop in a text module. So let's drop it on the bottom. Paste in the feed, done. Then it should display, okay, after when you've saved it. So save it and close it. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. So now I'm going to show you how to add in a contact form. So I'm going to click on the contact page, and here we're going to add the contact form shortcode. Okay, so we're going to go back to the back end and we want to get the contact form shortcode. So click on contact forms here, and here is your contact form. So you can copy this shortcode. What you might want to do is click on edit first, and here you can actually edit the contact form here to add in different fields and things like that. Okay, make sure the mail is set to your mail, and sometimes you might need to check your spam folder and make sure you've actually checked it not as spam. Okay, and you can change the messages and also configure some of the additional settings, right? And then click on save, come back here, turn on the builder, and I'm gonna set the columns to something like this. Okay, so we're gonna drop the form into the middle, paste it in. So I might do like get in touch, change it to heading 1. If you have any questions, make sure to drop me a message. I'll get back to you within 24 hours. And then paste in your shortcode, and then it will display your contact form. Okay, and then click on done. So that's pretty much a very simple contact form. You can add in different elements and things like that if you want to as well. Okay, we're gonna click on done and then close it. And that is pretty much all the plugins that we're gonna add in right now. Next, I'm gonna show you how to configure the blog page layout and then also the about page. And I'm gonna show you something really cool. Hopefully you guys don't hate me for it. But I'll show you guys in about a few minutes. Okay, so we're going to go to our blog page, and what we're going to do is turn on the builder. Okay, so you can pretty much create any layout. I generally just select the standard blog layout, and I just put in the post module, and I think I want to select the list post layout, which shows it like that. Okay, and then to add in the sidebar, I will click on done for here first, and I'll drop in the widgetize module on the right hand side and then select sidebar. All right, and then click on done, and then there you have it. Okay, so we're going to click on save here, and then we're going to move to our about page. So I'm going to close the builder. Okay, so if you actually click on the about page, what we can actually do is turn on the builder, and something really cool is that you can actually go to rows, right? And here there's actually pre-built rows. Okay, the reason why I didn't want to show you straight up at the very start is because if you actually put in, let's say, a row, okay, you add that in, you're not really sure how to actually, find the right images and edit the text and edit the layout and things like that. Okay, if I put it in like that, then you're not going to learn basically how to do the settings of it, and you're going to get more overwhelmed, more confused, right? So you can actually use this this row layout now because you've actually learned the skills, and what you learned is sort of how to actually create a website as well. So I'm not sure if you have noticed, like sometimes I just mess up, blog and then website, but they're basically essentially the same thing. You've got your blog post and things like that, but now you actually know how to create a website. So one of the ways that you can actually make money from your blog is you can actually use the skills that you learned here, and you could actually sell it as a service to maybe your friends' friends, or you could go to like marketplaces like Fiverr.com to actually make money by selling these services. Like a lot of people who actually follow my tutorials have actually become web developers without learning how to code and helping other people build websites. So if that's what you want to do, then that's what you can do as well to make money from your blog, right? So for example, we can even drop this one here, like drop this layout down here as well. Let's try and put that in, see if it works. Okay, put it in there. And then you've got a really cool layout, right? And what you could do is you could click on the buttons, right? And then you can link the link here, the button link to your blog page, okay? Link it to your contact page, link it to, you might have a services page, link it to your about page and things like that, okay? So you can use these templates, and what you can also do is you can actually hover over here, click on load layout, and you can actually import complete layouts, right? So for example, for the about page, let's just select this one I really like. Okay, this one is the profile one, and then replace existing layout. And here you can replace your image, replace the images beside that, and replace the text. If you don't want certain areas, you can zoom out and you can delete the entire rows. Okay, so for example, if we scroll down, I sort of probably don't want this section here, you can delete it, okay, like that. Or you could just create a really simple about page where you just drop in a image and some text. Okay, so I'm going to leave you to it for your about page, and then click on save, and then let's click on close. So what I want to show you now is how to add advertisements on your website. Like for example, you might want to add Amazon ads on your website, on your blog, on your sidebar section, or you might want to add Google AdSense on your website. So I want to show you how you can add ads and actually monetize your blog, okay? So I'm actually going to log into my Amazon account to show you how much money I make from Amazon affiliates. So what we're going to do is search up Amazon Associates, click on the first result, and if you actually don't have an account now, then make sure to join now for free. So I'm actually going to log in to my account, okay, so sign in, and you'll see that it's not very much money at all, but you can actually make money because I actually don't actively promote it, okay? So as you can see, I've actually earned 16 cents, but over time, like if you actually go to, I think, reports, and my balance is about $90, okay, over the years. But I actually just promote it on my blog as on the resources page, scrolling down, and I just promote these books which I really, really like, okay? So this is not the best way to promote it. The best way to promote it is to create review sites like the Wirecutter, okay? So the Wirecutter is an Amazon affiliate website, and I think they might be affiliates of other programs as well, not only Amazon. So as you can see, when you buy through links on our website, we may earn a affiliate commission, and they do reviews. So reviews about, microwaves, headphones, products under $500. Now, these websites are really good because, if you're ranking for these terms, people are actually ready to buy. They just want to make that final decision whether or not to buy or not. And then if they actually click the link and buy, then you're actually going to make a commission. So the Wirecutter, which was started in 2011, it got acquired by the New York Times for $30 million in 2016. So that's about $6 million per year. I'm not saying that you're going to make that amount of money, but it is a possible way that you can actually generate affiliate income from your blog, okay? So what you got to remember is you've actually learned the skills of how to create the layout of the blog. You can actually create this layout really easily, and I'm going to show you how you can add ads on the side of your sidebar section. But what you should remember is that you don't need to worry too much about the layout. You need to worry about the quality of the content and also the search engine optimization. Okay, so to create an banner, what you'll need to do is you can go to the product linking and then click on banners. So I'm not gonna create a whole video about Amazon affiliates. What I want to show you is how you can actually add advertisements on your website. I think there are other videos which cover this topic a lot more in depth, and they could probably walk you through it a lot easier than I can, right? So we're going to click on Amazon Echo as an example, and here you'll have the banners, okay? So as you can see, I've got the ad block on, so I'm going to pause it for now and refresh the page. Okay, so let's say I want this ad, right? I want this ad on the bottom of my blog post, and you can actually select any ad that you have here. So I'm going to select this one here. I'm going to copy the code, So copy that, the iframe code, and then we're going to go back to our website and blog here into the back end section, okay, of your dashboard. And what you want to do is you want to go to Themify settings, and then what you want to do is click on hook content and click on see hook locations. So this is what it is, okay? So you can actually add the ad anywhere on your blog. So you can add it on top the header section here. You can add it on your blog post. So if you actually click into the blog post and then scroll down, what I want to do is I want to put it just before the comment section, okay? I don't want to actually put it in the post end, because what's going to happen is it's going to actually show up on my home page. So I don't want my ad, everywhere. I just sort of want it, at the end here. Okay, so to do that, as an example, we can just click on add item, and you can select the location. So I want to set it as comment before, and then paste in the code. Okay, paste in the code, and then you can also set in conditions. Like for example, you might not want it to display on certain pages, then you can use it. Okay, we're going to click on save, and then we're going to go and visit site, and I'm going to disable ad block for now. So pause on this site, and then let's say if I click into this blog post, scroll down, and then it's going to show up here, okay, on each of the blog posts. If I go back to the other blog post, then you'll see that it is added as well. Okay, awesome. So you can also add it into your sidebar section if you want to as well. What I want to do is I'm just going to add it to, let's say, the blog page, right? I don't want to add it to my home page because I don't want too many ads, and you can just turn on the builder. So what you want to do is you want to click on a banner ad, something like this. Okay, so for this, I'm going to select the JS one, okay, copy it, and then go to here. Let's drop in a text module, like just below here. Click on the text tab up here, and then paste in the code. Select done, save it, and then close it. And then you've got the ad on your blog page. Okay, the reason why I don't want to add into the sidebar widget area is because you don't want to add too many advertisements on your blog, because I don't know, I just feel like it looks too spammy. Okay, unless you have a lot of content on your blog and stuff like that. Okay, so what I'm going to show you now is how to configure the footer section. How do you remove this? How do you add in your social media links and things like that? So let's go to your dashboard area, and I've opened up all my social media accounts, so make sure to do that as well. What we want to do is go to Themify settings, and you want to click on social links. Okay, so here you can add your Twitter profile URLs, Facebook URLs, and I'll do just that right now. So I'm going to copy it over and paste in my Twitter. I'm going to paste in my Facebook. I don't have a Google Plus. I do actually, but I'm not going to paste it in. We've got a YouTube account. Paste that in. Pinterest, I don't have one. I'm going to add link. As you can see, Instagram is not here. So what you can do is type in Instagram, okay, or any other sort of profile which is not included here. And then you can add your profile link and copy it, paste it in, okay, and what you want to do is add an icon. So insert icon, and you've different icons here. You can click on brand, or you can type in Instagram, okay, and then click on Instagram. For the icon color and background, I'm going to leave it all as default for now, and then click on save. Okay, so to actually display it on your page, you'll need to go to appearance and then click on widgets, and you need to scroll down and look for the Themify social widget thing here, click on it and sort of drag it and wiggle it up. All right. Here you can actually put it into your sidebar section if you want to as well. And I'm going to open the link in a new window, okay, and save. If you actually want to put it into the footer section, then you'll need to drop it into the footer social widget section, right? So we're going to grab it again and drop it into here. Okay, open the link in a new tab, click on save, and done. And let's visit our website. All right, so let's scroll down. You've got the social links here. Scroll down even further. You have the social links down here, right? I'm going to show you how to remove this. So to do that, we can go to dashboard, go to Themify Ultra, Themify settings, and you want to go to the theme settings and click on footer text. And here you want to hide footer text too, and then it will actually disappear. So click on save, and there you go. Okay, so that's really awesome. Now what I'm going to show you is how to make your website mobile responsive. So if you actually try to make it into mobile screen, then it should be pretty much very responsive already, depending on the layout that you actually chose. Okay, so for example, if we actually resize it back, you can actually click on the mobile responsive options here. So if you click into that, it's going to change into the mobile display. So you can actually set a specific layout for mobile devices if you want to. You can also set in a specific font size for mobile devices as well. So let's say, for example, if you double click the text module here, start a blog, click on styling, click on heading, heading 1 font, you'll see the font size is 80, correct? So we can actually change that to maybe, let's say 60, so a little bit smaller, okay? So it's going to fit better on mobile devices, right? If you actually click on done, and then if we actually go back to the desktop display and double click that text module again, styling, heading, you'll see that the font size is actually 80, right? So it actually changes. You can actually click on the button here as well. So you can set it specific for each device. All right. So you can also do a visibility option as well. So let's say, for example, you might not want to show the sign up thing for mobile screen. Then what you can actually do is you can actually hover over here and click on the options, click on visibility, and you can hide it for mobile screens. Okay. So for on mobile, it actually won't show up. Okay, so specific times you might not want to display too much content on mobile screens because it's going to make people scroll down too much, right? So this is really useful as well. And then we're going to click on done and then save and then close. All right, so now what I'm going to show you is how to customize the fonts, the colors of your website, to make sure that everything matches and it has a professional finish. I'm actually going to show you what fonts other people use and colors and sort of make it the blog that you want. All right, and this is going to be really awesome, really fun, and let's get started. So before we actually begin, I'm actually not a trained designer or anything like that. Everything I learned is just self-taught, and I feel like there's no specific way that you have to do things. You can be a little bit creative and there are no rules, but you sort of want to, if you're a beginner, you sort of want to have a little guideline of actually how to make sure that the design is consistent throughout your whole entire website. So basically this part of the video will actually go through that and show you sort of where you can actually change the colors and things like that. All right, so I think the best way to do it is to look at one of the most popular and the biggest companies in the world, like for example Apple, okay, and look at their design. Right, if you actually scroll through the website, and on a website there's basically just two visual elements, and that is basically the text and the images, right? So we're going to look at the text first, okay? So This is a design guide that I have on my website. I'll probably put the link in the description. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is choose a font family, and what I recommend is just sticking to one font family if you're just beginning to build your blog. Okay, because if you actually go to, let's say, Apple, and this is a Chrome extension I downloaded, it's called What Font, and if you actually click on it on the top right here, when you actually hover over the text, it'll tell you what fonts they use. So Apple actually uses just one font family. Okay, so SF Pro, I think that stands for San Francisco Pro. Okay, so if you scroll through the website, they just use one font family, and a lot of beginners think you need to use a lot of fonts, but you don't. So what happens is they use one font family, but they use sort of different font weights, like a little bit bolder, a little bit thinner, a little bit bolder in design. Okay, and that's how they separate each of the text like that. Okay, so down here also the same. Okay, just smaller and thinner and just a little bit lighter in color, and that's how they make it really nice. Okay, so you just need one font family. So the current font that we're actually using on our blog is Open Sans. That's the default font. Okay, you can just stick to that if you want to, or you can actually choose something else. So there's two different typefaces. Okay, the first typeface is sans serif, and the second typeface is serif. The main difference is that the sans serif typeface, it doesn't have, curves on the edges. It's quite plain, and the strokes are even width. Okay, so it gives a really modern and just a very clean look. Okay, if you actually look on Apple's website, they use a sans serif typeface. Okay, it's very clean. It doesn't have any curves on the edge. Okay, and all the strokes are even. And if you go to Tesla, they also use a sans serif typeface. Very clean and very modern design. Okay, here serif, it sort of gives a more sort of traditional and elegant look, right? So this one here, the blog that I built here is using sans serif, and I feel that it suits probably more towards fashion, I'd say, and some other blogs can use it as well. Okay, so here are some examples if you want to check it out. It's also good for long reading because the curve sort of guides the eye a little bit. Okay, here are some recommended Google fonts that you can actually choose to start off with for your blog if you're sort of unsure. So to edit the font, what we're going to do is go to our blog, right? We're going to click on the Customize option here, and we're going to start editing the text on the page. So here is the themify options. I'm going to click on Advanced, and I'm going to make the screen a little bit bigger for us right now. Okay, so to actually edit the top part of the website here, okay, this is actually your header section. Okay, so click on header, and the header wrap is the background color. So what I recommend is sticking to a neutral color, either a white or a gray. Okay, the reason for that is because imagine your header section is like a white t-shirt, right? So if you're actually wearing a white t-shirt, it's actually really easy to wear whatever color pants you're wearing. Like you might be wearing jeans, you might be wearing black pants, blue pants. But if you actually change the background color here to like a random color, let's say, like a orangey color, then you can see that it's going to be sort of harder to match with the image below that. Okay, the reason for that is because if you're wearing a orange t-shirt, it's going to be hard to match the colors unless you are really good at fashion, unless you're really good at design. Okay, so it's going to take some time to find the right images, and if you're a designer, then go ahead, you can do whatever you like, but this is just a quick tip. Okay, so you can either put it as a sort of a dark gray, a neutral color like that. It gives sort of a clean and modern look, or you can just keep it as white, which I'm just gonna leave it as white. Okay, so we're gonna minus that, and here this is your navigation menu. So you can click on the main navigation, and this is your link. So you can actually change your link color. Okay, so by default it's a really dark gray, but when you actually hover over that, that is a red. Okay, so you can keep that red, or if you actually look at an example from Tesla, when you hover over the links, it gives a slight effect, like a slight effect that that it's a button. Okay, if you go to Apple, it's the same effect. It goes a little bit light gray, right? So what I recommend as a good sort of formula is I actually go to a website called 0 to 255, okay? And whatever base color that I'm using here, let's say for example, the base color is, let's set the base color to 222, like that, okay? So like a dark gray, I think that's already that color anyway, okay? So let's just take the base color, and we're gonna put it into here, put the color into here, and enter color. Right, we're gonna scroll down, and I'm gonna choose either 2 shades darker or maybe 2 shades lighter, okay? I might choose, let's say 3 shades lighter, because you might not actually see the difference when you hover over it. So let's just pick that, and you wanna go to menu link hover, and then paste it into here. Okay, so when you actually hover over that, it gives a very slight effect. You might actually need to actually go a little bit even lighter than that, so maybe 4 or 5 shades lighter, so you can actually see that effect. Okay, so whatever base color you put in as a link color, then you should choose a 3 shades lighter or 4 shades lighter depending on the color. Okay, so it gives a nice hover effect. You can actually pick red if that's what you want as well. So the same thing for your button as well. So if you actually go to the button later on, then for your hover color, then you would put in this color as well, and then you would just keep it very consistent throughout the entire website. Okay, so right now we're going to minimize that, and the menu active link is if you actually click on the about page. Okay, so as you can see, it shows up as red. Okay, so that is your menu active link color, and you can change that as well to maybe the same here, just like that. Okay, I think that looks not too bad. And then you'll need a menu active link hover. I'm going to change this to 222, something like that. Okay, so very slight effect, but it just keeps everything like very professional. All right, and then click on publish for now. You can also edit the drop down link container and also links if you do have a drop down container. Okay, I'm going to minimize these for now. Minimize that. Okay, so if we actually go back to our home page, then you'll notice that I said just to pick one font. So if you actually click on body here and click on body font, let's say you choose a font which is called, I think the one that I used was Laura. Okay, click on that. That's going to change the font for the entire website from the header down to the footer section like that. Okay, and I think that actually looks not too bad, pretty good. Okay, or you can change it to the recommended fonts that I have on my web design guide. Or another option is that you can actually hover over, let's say you go to Tesla, turn on the what font, you can actually hover over it, and let's say they use Gotham. Okay, so what you do is you go to Google and type in similar Google font to Gotham. Okay, so this one might be, look at the 10 alternatives. Okay, I'm not sure if this is actually a Google font though, so I think Monster Rat is definitely a Google font. Okay, so that's very similar to what Tesla uses, right? So you can actually check which blogs are using what font, and then you can do similar Google fonts to that font, right? So this one, let's just change it to, let's see if you have it. Okay, Monster Rat, and that changes like that. Okay, it looks very modern right now. Okay, so it changes the entire feel of the website. So you probably want to change the font weight to normal, something like that. Okay, I think that looks pretty good as well if you want a more modern font, but personally I like the Laura font. Okay, so click into body link, and this is a link in the body section, so you can actually change the color here. So let's say for example I'm going to change it to maybe just a dark gray, then it's going to change like that. Okay, and then for your body link hover, then you might change it to the same hover color that you set before. Okay, so when people actually hover over that, then they'll know that it's a link. Okay, and if you actually click on the headings here, you can actually change the heading fonts universally. Okay, so as you can see, this font here is still Open Sans. This is the same font that we actually set in before for that specific module. Okay, so if you actually set in a specific font for a specific individual module, it's going to retain that font styling. Okay, so we've set in the body font, it's actually affected all the areas which we've actually didn't set the font for, right? So we're going to click on forms. Now forms is actually forms like this. Okay, so you're going to set the styling here. So what I like to do is for the form fields, I'll actually want to add in a solid border here, and I want to add in a very, very light gray. Okay, because it's a little bit too dark, so I'm going to change it to maybe 3 E's and then click on outside here, and then add maybe a 1 pixel or maybe 2 pixel like that. Okay, so as you can see, the color has changed. Okay, I think it just looks a lot better, a lot cleaner. Okay, and for your form buttons, then I would change it to the same color. Okay, I'm going to keep it very neutral color. So for example, the background color, I'm going to set it to 222. Okay, I'm not sure why that hasn't published yet. I'm just going to click on publish, and the form button hover, I'm going to set it to the 444. Okay, like that, and then make sure that I publish it. Okay, so I'm pretty sure it's going to change after I close it. So we're going to click on sticky header. Sticky header is the sticky header up there like that. Okay, you can actually change that color as well, but I actually like that white. You can change the sticky wrap header color. Okay, we're going to scroll down to the site logo and tagline. So if you actually have a logo, click on logo. If you don't have a logo yet, then you can actually go to Fiverr.com. You can actually get a logo for $5, and then you could ask it to be designed for you. And what you want to ask them for is a PNG file. That's a transparent file. And then you want to click on logo image, and you want to upload that image. Here you can actually control the size, because sometimes the image might be really big. Then you might want to change the size here to maybe 128, I believe. Okay, and test it out. Alright, so I don't have a logo yet, so I'm just going to keep that logo. I'm going to change maybe the font weight to a little bit bolder, like that. Okay, you can also change the position of the logo. Here, the main navigation I showed you before. The mobile menu is the, you can edit the styling for the mobile menu as well. So, for example, you can change the panel color, okay, to any color that you want. I'm just going to keep it as is. For the menu link, I'm going to keep it as is. For the menu link hover, I'm going to change it to the hover color that I set, okay, because my base color is the 222, right? So I'm going to add in a very light, a lighter version of it, right? You can also change the menu icon, which is here. Okay, if you have a dark background, you might need to change it to a white or something like that, right? So we're going to minimize that. Here you can actually change the post titles. So for example, if you click on post, you can edit the post title here. Okay, but I'm just going to leave it as default. Okay, so the post title hover, I might try to change the color of that to 444. Okay, so it doesn't show up here yet. I think that might be a grid to post title link. I'm just going to leave it as is for now. You can also change the post date and everything like that here. Everything about the post, you can edit it here. For the sidebar, you can edit the sidebar as well. Okay, you can edit the font and the link on the sidebar section here. But it actually only edits the actual sidebar on the actual blog post. This is actually a widgetized module, so you need to edit the color there, right? For the footer section, you can actually scroll down and you can change the footer wrap color, okay, which is the background and also the link color as well. I'm just going to keep it as default as I think that looks pretty good. The color style that I've chosen for my website is pretty neutral colored, and it sort of suits any type of blog. All right. If you want something like let's say a food blog, then you can keep it quite neutral, but you could add, instead you could add the orange link colors, and for your buttons, it could be orange. You could add little accent colors to make it sort of look nice, but also nice and simple as well. Like if you're just beginning, try to keep the design nice and simple, and then you can use this tool. You can check out other websites side by side, and then you can compare it. Okay, that's the best way to actually rearrange the layout, is to actually have, let's say, your website side by side, and then you actually look at the layout that's, let's say, Nomadic Matt has, and then you can actually change the columns and arrange the layout exactly like how you would want it. Okay, and I think that is pretty much it. I think the last thing that we want to add is a fab icon. So this is a little icon here. We're going to close the customizer, and we can actually go to the dashboard area, click on Themify Ultra, Themify Settings, your custom fab icon, click on Upload, and then I'm going to upload a fab icon. Okay, it has to be a PNG file, and the size of it, I believe, is 32 times 32 pixels, and you can actually request a fab icon from the guys who actually do your logo. Okay, and then click on Save. Okay, so what you'll notice is if you actually got your domain from HostGator, you'll see not secure. Okay, to actually have the secure icon, if you've bought the SSL from HostGator, go to Plugins. Okay, and the next thing you want to do is click on Add New. And you want to type in here, really simple SSL. And then we're going to install now, this one here. Click on Activate. And here, click on Go ahead and activate SSL. Okay, what's going to do is actually going to take you and log out of your blog. Okay, let's say if you click on Visit Site, it's going to log you out of your blog. Right, so it's logged out, and you'll need to log in again by typing in /WP admin. And then it should show up as secure. So you notice that it doesn't have that green icon. Then what you might want to do is try to re-upload your images that you uploaded. So delete them from your website first, and then re-upload them, and then it should be fine. Okay, so save it, and then close it, and hopefully it's gonna show up the green icon like that. Alright, so my name's Hogan, and basically hopefully you have really enjoyed this tutorial. It's taken me over a month to create, so if you actually really like it, then make sure to leave a thumbs up and let me know in the comments down below how long did it actually take you to build and follow this 2-hour long tutorial. And I'll also have the shop video and additional videos down below in the description, so make sure to check that out.